We'll call to order this regular May 18th, 2015 meeting of the Robertson County Commission. I'm going to ask Pastor Steve Freeman of the Grace Baptist Church to do our invocation, to be followed by the pledge to the flag. Please stand.
Okay.
I think so.
Let us pray. Father, we're thankful for this day. Obviously, Father, we know that it's a day that you have made, so we'll certainly rejoice and be glad in it. Thank you for a time such as this, when those to whom you've called, and Father, I believe it's a call, but those to whom you've called can come together and Father, do business, our county business. And Father, that we can, we pray tonight that as we come to you, that you would just endow with wisdom. Father, you said if anyone lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives it abundantly and without reproach. And certainly, in light of who you are, we all need your wisdom. So I pray, Father, for our county commission. I pray for our county mayor. I pray for our county officials. And Father, all of our workers, and I pray for our county in general. Lord, that this would be a lighthouse, that you would bless us, and Father, you would use us, certainly for your good and for your glory. Thank you in advance for what you're going to do in this place tonight. And Father, we're so thankful for Jesus Christ, in whose name we gather, and whose name we come, and whose name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Brother Steve. I appreciate you being with us. And Brother Steve joined us on part of the graduation marathon this weekend. It's good to see a number of you there. We graduated Springfield High School Thursday night at Austin P, East Robertson Friday evening in Cross Plains. Saturday we began the day with Joe Burns' graduation at 10, and at 2 o'clock we had Greenbrier's graduation, and luckily got that in between storms, and then came back to graduate Heritage High School on Sunday. So we had a weekend full of ceremonies, and we'll be graduating the mock trial team at Springfield High this coming Wednesday at 6, and I want to really congratulate the mock trial team who brought honor to Robertson County and to Tennessee by the way they represented us. They did not advance past the Raleigh, North Carolina competition, but to win the state championship 2 years in a row is an extraordinary thing. And then to represent us so well there, we're very proud of them. So when you see them out and about, tell them how grateful that we are. At this time, if you have your, if you will press yes and confirm, you will be registered into the system. There being 22 commissioners present and 2 absent, Commissioners Adcock and Stacy Moore absent, I declare that we do have a quorum. Commissioners, you have the minutes from the previous meeting. What's your pleasure? Have a motion by Commissioner Roberts and a second by Commissioner Gregory. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no, so they are approved. Very briefly, under communications, a week from today, of course, is Memorial Day. We hope that you have at least two events on your calendar that the chair is aware of, and there may be more. But every Memorial Day we begin with a ceremony at Greenbrier, and that will be at 9 a.m. There at Veterans Park. And then we'll be having a special ceremony in Springfield this year at the courthouse to honor our Vietnam veterans, and that starts at 10. Should not last very long, but we would certainly appreciate it if you could put that into your schedule before you begin all the other Memorial Day activities. But we, I think, owe a great debt to the men and women from Robertson County who fought in all wars, but we're honoring the Vietnam War people this year. And there's even been at least one name added to the plaque, the monument there on the courthouse grounds. So as far as we know, that's a complete list of the Robertson counties that we lost in Vietnam. So they're long overdue on this 40th anniversary of the end of the war for us to come back and say thank you. So I hope that you'll put that event on your calendar. Does anyone else know of any other Memorial Day events? Those are the only two the chair is aware of. There's normally an event at White House at noon, but I have not heard this year. If we get information about that, we will get that to you. Under reports, the first that the chair has is from the Highway Department. That's 7.1. 7.2 is report from the Veteran Service Officer. 7.3 is a report from Animal Control. 7.4 is the trustee's statement of funds. 7.5 is a report from Solid Waste. 7.6 is the inmate expense report. 7.7 is the fire service. 7.8 is from the Planning Commission. 7.9 is EMA. 7.10 is EMS. 7.11 is the county's financial report. Those are the reports that the chair has. What's your pleasure? Have a motion to be accepted and ordered filed by Commissioner Couts and second by Commissioner Gregory. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no, so they are approved. I'm going to recognize now Commissioner Billy Vogel, who is chairman of the nominating committee, to ask you to fill a vacancy on the county's equalization board. Commissioner Vogel.
Mr. Chairman, Madam Clerk, fellow commissioners, ladies and gentlemen of the audience, we had one order of business tonight. Let me get a motion and I'll explain it. I think Mr. Bradley's done a good job of that.
Motion, you made the motion. Made the motion and a second by, someone will second here on the display for me.
Get it, Bubba?
Somebody got one? I can't see it. There we go. Commissioner Dars, thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Bubba.
Mr.
Thank you. All right, we just had Mr. Baker's resigning and Wayne Duggar's coming on the equalization board, and I think Wayne will do a great job.
Questions, comments?
Question.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. So we're grateful for Wayne's service. He served so admirably as our veteran service officer. I'm sorry. We need to do it. I stand corrected. We need to do it on the box here. So if you'll vote yes and confirm. Mr. Jackson still voting? Being 22 votes in favor, none opposed, and 2 absent, I declare that resolution approved. Thank you. Recognize now Mr. Doug Vann, who is our Director of Planning. If you're here to speak in favor of or in opposition to any rezoning resolution, please stand when your name is called. Mr. Vann.
The only resolution before you tonight is Mr. Dennis Spann. He's requesting 3 acres located on Dunn Road, and that is the 8th Civil District, 7th Voting District, be rezoned from AG2 to RP80. Planning Commission evaluated this request and by a vote of 7-0 ask for your approval.
Anyone here to speak to that resolution? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing at this time and bring this resolution back to the body for your consideration. Have a motion for approval by Commissioner Vogel. Is there a second? And a second by Mr. Couts. Ready to vote? If you're in favor of this resolution, vote yes and confirm. If you're opposed, vote no and confirm at this time. Being 22 votes in favor, none opposed, and 2 absent, I declare the resolution approved. Thank you, Doug. Under new resolutions, I'm going to recognize Commissioner Vogel for the first of 4. The first one coming from the Highway Department.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Madam Clerk, again, fellow commissioners, ladies and gentlemen. This comes from the Highway Department, and it's I'm going to try to explain this the way Devin explained it to me, because he don't want to be made a member of the court. But he is doing a bridge construction on Washington Road. I think the bridge has been condemned for under 15 ton. Is that right? That's good. And, he has taken, he got some, you'll look at the amendment, he's got $400,000. The bridge is gonna take a lot more than that, so he has moved some money out of his accounts and his, well, he's making it work out of his own pocket pretty well. And I'll take a second on that.
Motion, is there a second? Second by Commissioner Jackson. Any discussion? Question has been called for, so if you're in favor of this resolution, vote yes and confirm. If you're opposed, vote no and confirm at this time. There being 22 votes in favor, none opposed, and 2 absent, I declare that resolution approved. Commissioner Vogel.
Okay, I've got resolution number 518, 15048. Is that the next one, Mr. Bradley?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good job, Jody. This one's coming from Sheriff's Department. Last year, when we made the budget, they had to have $100,000 put in for software maintenance. We knew this was coming, and this is where it's coming from, and we're moving this money over into his restricted reserve.
I have a motion by Commissioner Vogel. Is there a second? And a second by Commissioner Couch. Any discussion? Question's been called for. If you're in favor of this resolution, vote yes and confirm. If you're opposed, vote no and confirm at this time. And 22 votes in favor, none opposed, and 2 absent. I declare that resolution approved. Commissioner Vogel.
Okay, resolution 518, 15049. This comes from the schools, and this is pretty good size. Let me get a second, because Mr. Davis ain't here, and I'll try.
Mr. Davis is here. Just
Is he?
Commissioner Eden for the second.
All right.
So he's back there. Davis has arrived.
All right, this, you got a second?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is a balanced budget. It's coming from schools where they're moving money around to where it's needed and where it's not needed, and it's year-end housekeeping pretty well.
We do this every night. Ready to vote? Question been called for. If you're in favor of this resolution, vote yes and confirm. If you're opposed, vote no and confirm at this time. Twenty-two votes in favor, none opposed, and 2 absent. I declare that resolution approved. Commissioner Vogel.
Okay. Resolution 518, 15050. This comes from the Budget Committee. It was brought to the Budget Committee to, there's a piece of property across from the courthouse, right across from the jail, that's coming up for sale. This piece of property is joins some Rob Scanion's, right? Or is it on the corner?
On the corner.
Okay, it's on the corner.
It's directly across from the health department.
This property's been rented for $800 a month. Presently got a 3-year contract on it, and they've been offered it to the county at the price you see on this amendment, $130,000. And like I say, it was brought to the Budget Committee, and we brought it to y'all for y'all's consideration.
Okay, we've got a motion. Is there a second before we can discuss it? We have a second by Commissioner Farmer. Now, questions, comments? Commissioner Eden?
This includes the building? There's a building on it?
Yes. It's called Employment Plus currently. The building,
And it's right down on the corner?
yes,
Or we
it's on the corner of Brown Street and, what is that, 8th Avenue?
Yeah, right up above
Yeah.
Wendy's.
No, right here, just literally right here,
Okay.
next to, what
Was it with Browning and Smith?
used to be the doctor's office. It was Browning and Smith Florist at one time. It's been a number of things. That building is probably 80 years old or more, but it is currently rented for $800, and I think, what'd you say, a 3-year lease?
3-year, what do you call it?
Yeah.
I call it a contract, but it's not necessarily. There you go, they got a lease, a 3-year lease signed up on it now.
Mr. Roberts?
Does the lease keep going on even after we purchase it?
I think that's for the building ground side, if they want to be in the rental business or not. They may use it for storage, parking lot, or, it's just the opportunity to buy a piece of property that's next to
It
it.
would be hard to throw out a paying renter, I'd say. Okay, Mr. Brown?
So the purpose of this is just to acquire something just in case?
That's what the Budget Committee's bringing it to y'all about.
I'm just,
Yeah.
usually there's a plan and something in the plat and everything else, and I'd like to see a copy of that lease. I've seen leases that aren't so good. It sounds great until you actually read the lease, and you may be on the hook for a lot more than you think you are.
Commissioner Stroud?
Well, my question was basically that, what's the benefit to the county? Why did,
There are, what did he say, 15 parking spaces behind that? The parking is part of the issue.
Additional 15 parking
Yep.
spaces, yes.
I think that's part of that.
One thing the sheriff said, when you have court, a lot of times people parking everywhere, and they give you some parking place right there.
I just personally don't see where the parking is needed at this time. I find it very difficult when all we're saying is we need it and there's no plan. I have a hard time with this one.
Other questions or comments?
I would
Commissioner Glover.
comment from personal experience about the overflow that we encounter on Mondays and Tuesdays in General Sessions Court. And parking out here in the parking lot, as well as the public defenders and others parking out here in the parking lot that are supposed to be available to the general public. It's just, and the property that purchased several years ago has never been developed. The house was bought to make a parking lot, and that's still in the status quo situation. So, I mean, you just need to come up here and experience what goes on up here on Mondays and Tuesdays in particular.
Mr. Brown?
But that's where I'd say if we have a plan and we know that's what we're gonna do, if we're buying to do something like that, that's great. But if it's just gonna, there's just no plan.
Well, I'm speaking for Lanny. Lanny's not here. Lanny talked to the real estate agent, and this came up pretty quick. Just want to know with the county, are they interested?
Right.
If this is something you want to vote on tonight, I wish Lanny was here to explain it, because he did talk to the real estate agent. I think they do have somebody interested in the property, but,
Other questions? Commissioner Hogan?
I've only been in grounds. That did come up very quickly, and it is subject to be taken away from us. We have the first option on that property. It is a piece of property that's going to hold its value. I don't think it's going to be a problem there. A couple more years on the lease, it's going to be some income for us. I think it's a no-win, not only for the additional parking, but also if we get a chance to get the building beside of it, it'll complete our area.
Other questions or comments?
what,
Commissioner Haley?
what is it on the tax roll for? How much are they, what is it as appraised at? No idea? Any idea about?
They're going to offer it for $149,000. We do have a work.
Other questions or comments? Ready to vote? Question's been called for. If you're in favor of this resolution, vote yes and confirm. If you're opposed, vote no and confirm at this time. There being 18 votes in favor, 4 opposed, and 2 absent, I declare that resolution is approved. Recognize now Commissioner Bowens for 3.
Mr. Chairman, can I add to the county commission, we will start on the budget May the 28th.
May 28th.
Budget committee will be starting
5
on
o'clock?
the budget. If any of y'all like to come
We
be a
would
part of that.
love to have you there. 5 o'clock on May 28th. Commissioner Bowens.
Bradley, County Commissioner, ladies and gentlemen. I bring to you Resolution 0518-15051. It's coming from the Health Department, excuse me. Comes from the Health Department. I move for adoption.
Have a motion, is there a second? Second by Commissioner Farmer. This is a grant that the state gave to the Health Department in terms of a tobacco cessation program, and they want to carry that 27-5-27 over into the next fiscal year.
This is the second year, they have one more year on this.
Ready to vote?
Question.
Question's been called for. If you're in favor of this resolution, vote yes and confirm. If you're opposed, vote no and confirm at this time. And 22 votes in favor, none opposed, and 2 absent, I declare that resolution approved. Commissioner Bowens.
This is Resolution 0518-15052. This comes from the solid waste. I move for the adoption.
The motion, is there a second? Second by Commissioner Hoover. This is basically where excess revenue came in and also excess expenses, and they wanted to align those line items.
Question?
Question's been called for. If you're in favor of this resolution, vote yes and confirm. If you're opposed, vote no and confirm at this time.
Bubba.
Mr. Doris, are you
Is it me?
still voting?
All right, sir.
Everybody? Okay. There being 22 votes in favor, none opposed, 2 absent, I declare that resolution approved. Commissioner Bowens.
This is resolution 0518-15053. This is coming from current property tax and what is for to pay the insurance, the 13 period. I move for the adoption.
Have a motion, is there a second? Second by Commissioner Stroud. I think that the explanation is adequate. If you have a question, we can ask Mr. Davis or Ms. Stewart about that, but we were required to have a 13th month charge due to the Affordable Care Act. Commissioner Hogan.
This is just for the county's portion. It's not the education part of it, just the county employees. Is that correct?
That's an affirmative from Ms. Stewart. Other questions? Question been called for. If you're in favor of this resolution, vote yes and confirm. If you're opposed, vote no and confirm at this time. Being 22 votes in favor, none opposed, 2 absent, I declare that resolution approved. Thank you, sir. Commissioner Baggett, declare surplus property for the sheriff's office.
Mayor Bradley, ladies, fellow commissioners, I have resolution number 05-181-5054. That's to declare surplus 6 Crown Vics for the Sheriff's Department.
Have a motion, is there a second? And a second by Commissioner Hoover. Any discussion? Question's been called for. If you're in favor of this resolution, vote yes and confirm. If you're opposed, vote no and confirm at this time. There being 22 votes in favor, none opposed, and 2 absent, I declare that resolution approved. Commissioner Haley for the next 2 resolutions.
Commissioners, Mayor Bradley, Lady Clerks, members of the audience, I present to you tonight Resolution 05-181-5055. It's a resolution to declare surplus property for Gore McBain Public Library. If someone will second it, we'll
Motion,
talk
is there a
about it.
second? And a second by Commissioner Hogan. Any discussion?
For me to describe it, the mayor and I can attest that there is surplus property.
We toted it inside.
Because we toted it inside, as it would say, in our country vernacular.
This is the material that's out in Conwood.
Conwood building.
It's in Conwood,
And will
yes.
be removed before June 30, or by June 30.
If you're interested, this oven is really nice. I'm serious. It looks like it's been used, so.
Question's been called for.
I don't mean that to be funny, I'm
In favor
dead
of this
serious.
resolution, vote yes and confirm. If you're opposed, vote no and confirm at this time.
Sir, Owen Crow. We probably could use one.
There being 22 votes in favor, none opposed, and 2 absent, I declare that resolution approved. Commissioner Haley.
Okay, next is Resolution 05-181-5056. It's the resolution to remove uncollectible accounts. If I can get a second, we will.
Motion and a second by Commissioner Bowens.
What this deals with is the county clerk's office has diligently tried to collect some outstanding debt or bad debt, and some of it's 15 years old, and they've exhausted all means of collecting it, and now Clyde has recommended that we write it off. Just to clear our books. So it's just
Motion and
strictly
a-
a housekeeping.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Question been called for. If you're in favor of this resolution, vote yes and confirm. If you're opposed, vote no and confirm at this time.
Thank you.
And 22 votes in favor, none opposed, and 2 absent. I declare that resolution approved. And Commissioner Baggett, approve agreement with Springfield and the County Planning Office.
Mayor, fellow commissioners, ladies and gentlemen of the audience, I have Resolution 05181050057. It's a resolution to approve interlocal inspection agreement with the city of Springfield. And I'd like to make Mr. Doug Vann a member of our court and let him kind of explain that, if you would, please.
It's been motioned by Commissioner Baggett and seconded by Commissioner Roberts that Mr. Vann be made a member of this body. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. So, Mr. Vann, if you come back around, you can tell us what the gist of that is.
This is an agreement that began under Ms. Wilkinson's tenure, and basically what it does, it gives the city of Springfield the right to inspect gas lines out in the county. We don't charge for gas permits. They do, and therefore they're inspecting from the main all the way in, or from the line all the way to the main to the house, and that's what this does. And it also says that we will maintain consistent volumes and editions of the code, international code, and should either one of us need the other one to perform inspections, either one of us could do it for the other one for a $50 fee. But we don't foresee that happening, but that was just something that Mr. Richard wanted to put into the agreement. And this has already been approved by the council, the city council.
Well,
Mr. Brown, you have a question?
So what you're saying is the citizens, it really doesn't affect them too much?
No, sir. Actually, it benefits them by not charging. We won't charge a gas permit. The city of Springfield has to, and we're not charging for that gas permit.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mr. Haley.
Just one quick question. Are there other any of the other municipalities besides Springfield that we're doing this with?
No, because none of the others have a gas utility.
Would we eventually have to do this with Portland up in the industrial park area?
No, sir.
Interactive with them.
We're already doing some work for them, but that's inside the city of Portland. We don't, the industrial park is inside.
Okay.
Question?
Question has been called for. In favor of this resolution, vote yes and confirm. If you're opposed, vote no and confirm at this time. There being 22 votes in favor, none opposed, and 2 absent, I declare that resolution approved. Commissioner Glover.
Mr. Bradley, members of the County Commission, I bring before you Resolution 0518-15058. This is a resolution to establish archives and record management fees for documents filed in certain offices of Robertson County government. At the bottom of the first page, it sets out what entities and the fees will be collected: Highway Department, County Planning and Zoning Office, County Clerk, Clerk and Master, Circuit Court, Juvenile Court, and General Sessions Court. This is a $2 fee, and this matter has been before the Legislative Committee, and we approved the amount of $2. This is a resolution that will be in effect for 1 year, and we'll come back and revisit to see how much money that has accumulated for this service, the archive service. So I would move for the adoption of this resolution.
Have a motion. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Roberts. Any discussion? Commissioner Brown.
I saw in the first paragraph it said a fee up to $5.
Yes.
And then it said $2. So do we always have to vote on this, or does like a legislation committee, can they change that up to the $5 as needed? Because the language was in one place and then the fixed expense was in another.
Statute provides a cap of up to $5. After discussing this matter The legislative committee felt that $2 would be adequate so that we could measure the amount of money collected in a 12-month period. We didn't want to go excessive, and we felt it would be reasonable to go with $2 fee. And we couldn't get any real good handle about how much money that this fee would generate for Robertson County.
Right.
That's the reason we chose $2, and that's the reason it's only going to be good for 12 months, because we're going to, the legislative committee will come back and revisit it this time next year to see how much money they're going to keep.
Thank you.
Commissioner Stroud.
What are other counties around us charging? Do they have the same kind of fees?
Yes, Montgomery County, one of the counties that we talked to, I call Washington County up in East Tennessee. I guess we got the majority of the information from Montgomery County. I spoke with the circuit clerk down there, and Mr. Richard also talked to him. They have collected several $100,000. They used a $5 fee, and they have collected excessive amount of money. That's what it sounded like to me, and that's what personally I was concerned about. You know, we need the money, but we don't need to overburden the population, the taxpayers, as they come in. So that's the reason we settled on $2 for this 12-month period. Does that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Other questions? Commissioner Duggar.
I thought, I'm on the Records Commission, and I thought we approved $5.
You want what committee?
The Records
Records.
Commission, this came from the Legislative Committee. And you can amend this on the floor if you so
I mean,
choose.
I guess my question is, does it not go through Records? And then to budget?
Well, the resolution that came to you came from the Legislative Committee. It could have come from the Records. It could have come from the Records Committee, although I don't know that we've had a resolution from Records Committee, but there's nothing that says that it couldn't.
I think that it went to budget first, then budget sent it to the legislative committee, if I remember correctly.
It's been to budget.
I don't,
It has been to
just know
budget.
it came before the legislative.
I know.
But the amount is set by this body, by these 24 commissioners.
I can ask Yolanda, she's here, but I'm pretty sure that it passed Records that we were going to go for the $5. It was like, we have had the ability to do this fee, and yet we didn't know it. And it was just a way to generate revenue. I guess I'm not sure why we're not going for the 5. Why are we settling on the 2?
Well, I made the explanation because we could not get a good handle on how much money is going to be generated by $1, $3, $2, or $5. And it just concerned the members of the legislative committee that because we didn't know, and just because we can assess a fee, doesn't mean we need to assess the maximum. So we just made the determination for a period of 12 months, we would assess $2 and come back in a year and see how much money that has accrued. And then at that time, we'll decide whether we want to leave it to $2, increase it to $4, or whatever we may choose. But it's only in place for 12 months because of this unknown.
Well, is your reason saying that we can collect too much money?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Isn't it just going back to the general fund?
If you come down to the clerk's office and see how many fees are already being assessed to the public when they come in for a criminal violation or a civil matter, the cost for several clerk taxes, public defender fees, and it just goes on and on. So personally, I just felt like it would be fair to everybody to go with the $2, and so we could get a handle on what we could collect. I mean, they need some money, but I don't think it's, there's a limitation to what should be made available. Okay.
Other questions or comments? Commissioner Eden?
Now we're charging nothing.
Nothing. Commission is free to amend any portion of this resolution you see fit from the floor. Commissioner Stroud?
What about making Miss Yolanda, bringing her before the commission and just explaining her thoughts and opinions of that?
Put that in form of a motion?
Yes, sir.
Second by Mr. Haley. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. So Ms. Yolanda, our county archivist and historian, Ms. Yolanda Reed.
This all started out because the archives building will be maxed out with absolutely no space left at all within the next 2 years. And we discovered mobile shelving systems via the jail having given one to us from their facility, and I was able to put 5 times as many files in the same footprint of the building. So we put it for our circuit criminal files because that was the place that was immediately dire, terrible, trying to keep up with. And we have a guesstimated 10 years growth space now in that same room that was previously totally maxed out. I found out from, sorry to keep my back to y'all.
That's okay.
I found out from the State Library and Archives that I stay in communication with regularly that a number of other counties in the state had instituted this archives and records management fee. I talked with multiples of them. All of them started out with the top of the line. $5 is what the legislature allowed them to do, and that's what they all did. And each one of them are using this money for different things. In our case, it would be to purchase more of those mobile shelving systems, whereby that same building will last many, many, many more years. It's much cheaper to buy the mobile shelving systems than it is to add on to a building or build a new building. And the building we have is great, excellent, all concrete and steel. You couldn't ask for better for an archives facility. One county that I'm aware of does not even have a county archives as yet, and they are stockpiling this fee in order to build the building and furnish the building. Others of them are in stages with their archives and what they're using theirs for. The law requires that all of the money be spent on permanent records, which is 95% of what is in our archives building today. Permanent records by law, never to be destroyed, and the public must be given access to them. So we currently have the second mobile shelving system that has been ordered that should be in the next 2.5 weeks. But we have immediate need within the next 18 months for 2 more of these. The one the jail gave to us cost an approximate $30,000. The one that should be here in the next 2.5 weeks is for our Chancery Court storage, and it was $20,000. The next one in line is for Circuit Civil, and it will be much bigger. I guesstimate that it will be to the tune of $40,000 for the shelving system itself. And then we always have $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 according to how big it is of supplies that are needed, because we are changing from a filing system where you're reading it from the top to a filing system where you're reading the side of the folder itself. So you have to have labels and dividers and various things that are added to it. The next one in line will be juvenile storage. Juvenile is not a public record, but it is a permanent record. So we still got to keep it. The only people that get to see it are those directly involved in those. So that's where we stand. Anybody have questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Mr. Brown.
If we replace all these systems that you're talking about, how many years more do we think we have of storage?
Well, in the case of the circuit criminal that we already have done, I calculate we already have 10 years growth of the mobile shelves that are already there. But there is floor space empty to add approximately 5, maybe 6 more of the shelves to it. And of course, all of that is dependent upon how the county grows and how many more cases, how many more divorces, all of that, as to how long it would last. But I could see easily, in the case of that circuit criminal, if we don't have a lot of growth in it, that we could be looking at 20 years, that one room would still last. Our juvenile is growing at a much more rapid pace. So I couldn't even calculate on that one without a lot of studying with it. One problem with juvenile also is that it has to stay in a locked room. And our only locked room areas, this will add a great deal, but I couldn't say it'll last 20 years.
Mr. Hogan.
Mr. Burton, did you go back and do some estimates on what it would take if we went back to this past year's filings and we added $2 per filing, how much money that would generate?
In some areas, you can make that kind of calculation. In the area of general sessions, what you get into is that defendants come in and they have multiple charges, either multiple warrants or what we call a multiple citation, where that's for driving with no driver's license, seatbelt violation, DL not on the person, address, improper address, seatbelt, child restraint, those kind of things. One of the things that concerned me, because of what I have seen before, is that an individual could come in with several of those charges and get $2 on each one, where it's only one citation. The way this is supposed to be set up, whatever amount is approved, is supposed to only be one fee of $5 or $2 per defendant. Cheryl Castle, the clerk down at Montgomery County, says the system can be set up that way. And I've talked to Donna Searcy, of course, and I hope that's true, that it works out that way. But that's just a concern of mine as a judge, and having seen how many $2 fees somebody can pick up or $5 fees. That out of general sessions, it's just hard to know what kind of money is going to fall in this category for the criminal charges. You can very easily determine what it is on the civil side. I believe for 2014 or 2013, I guess it was. I look back at that, and there were about, I believe it was right around 2,000 civil cases. So you can, 2,000 times 2 on that is $4,000. So I didn't get an estimate. I don't know whether the highway department can make any estimate about how many it would be, how much it would be, excuse me, how many numbers, zoning and planning. I don't know whether they can. So that's, here again, we didn't have and don't know really, without spending a whole lot of time, how to determine the amounts, the numbers come in.
This is just going to give us a benchmark.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do, is to establish, I think that's the proper way, a benchmark to see. And then that's the reason we just asking for passage for 1 year, because we know too many questions we can't answer.
Other questions or comments? Commissioner Eden.
This next shelf that you got on order, you got that in your budget, fee or no fee?
I would comment, the Budget Committee has already funded the first fund balance. The one that she was making reference to has already been funded with the county, the $20,000.
Yes, the one that's supposed to arrive in 2.5 weeks.
So that's already been
Has
funded.
been funded.
Out of your budget?
No.
No.
Fund balance.
Fund balance. Because it was so
Because
critical.
we knew she needed to get busy and get some improvements with the Budget Committee, saw fit Granted enough to, I think it was actually 25, wasn't it?
No, it was 20,000 and some odd cent, 100.
Other questions or comments? Commissioner Couch?
I personally kind of like the idea that we're not charging them all, we can charge them right off. I like the idea of not maxing this out until we know what we cost. It'd be nice to say we didn't charge all, we could charge until we know what we need. I like that idea.
Well, I can tell you that before I ever asked for it to begin with, I did make contact. Highway Department, Planning and Zoning, County Clerk, Circuit Clerk. General Sessions could not give me anything. Without General Sessions, at the current rate of what was being produced, at $5 fee, it would have been $95,000. And that did not include General Sessions.
Mr. Hogan?
I heard comments about general funds, that it would go back, but I think the resolution states that it goes directly into purchasing these files. Is that correct, this resolution? It cannot be used any other way.
It has to be spent on permanent records. Now, the permanent records are being created in circuit, in chancery, et cetera. So budget and finance can, make distributions out of that fund for those offices too, not just the archives building. So we've still got all that being governed.
From what you just told us, we have this 20, but then we have a bigger one coming up next.
Yes.
Right? That
Yes.
could very well be $40,000. And if the $5 is on 95, then obviously at $2, we're.
There's your 40.
That's 40, so we should have that covered, pretty much. And I know we'll have a little bit more from general session, maybe another 4 or so there. We shouldn't hurt you. That's what I'm looking at right now. It sounds like we need funding for this. We need to keep it on this one. And I wouldn't want to shortchange it when it sounds like we need a funding mechanism. Since we took it this year out of the general fund, it would be nice to have that funding mechanism there, and as long as there's enough to give you what you need, and we don't need more than that, right? So if you think 40 is going to be enough for next year for your systems, or do we need more than 40,000 to implement this management system, this filing system, or is it going to be 30 plus 40 and we need 7?
No way to know until I get the bids from the companies that produce them. If steel goes up and all that, I'm basing the calculations of the next one being a $40,000 piece of equipment on what this most recent purchase.
And we're thinking that's going to be in the next 12 months. In other words, not this next one, but that's going to be from July 1st sometime to June the 30th of 16, correct?
Hope so.
So we're confident, but you're not seeing a need for more than the one system, I guess is what I'm saying. And it may be so much to do on one system, that's maybe more than you want to do in 1 year at a time.
True.
Okay.
Other questions or comments? You ready to vote? Question's been called for. If you're in favor of this resolution, vote yes and confirm. If you're opposed, vote no and confirm at this time. Being 21 votes in favor, 1 opposed, and 2 absent, I declare that resolution approved. Any old business to come before this body? Any new business to come before this body? I'm going to ask for a motion to make Jody Ballard, the staff in the mayor's office, a member of this body for something she would like to share with you. A motion by Couch, second by Roberts. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The chief of staff is a member of the county commission.
Hi guys. I just wanted to share this information with you guys first. The only other people that know is my family, but I have given Howard my 2 weeks notice, and so I will be leaving. I will be moving to North Crest as the development coordinator for the foundation, and my first day will be June the 1st.
Congratulations.
We all hate to see Jody go. I asked her 3 years ago and felt guilty, Mr. Davis, for taking her out of the classroom to come to the mayor's office, but she has done an extraordinary job and has taken a tremendous burden from me. And I appreciate what she has done for you all, and I know that you're all going to miss her. Recognize Commissioner Bowens for the election of notaries.
Mayor Bradley, I make a motion to elect the notary of Robertson County, state of Tennessee.
Have a motion, is there a second? Second by Commissioner Darce. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. A motion to adjourn is in order, and I have that by Commissioner Brown, second by Commissioner Darce. All those in favor say aye. We stand adjourned.